Darren, 4-1 defeat to Armagh here at home park. Just give us your thoughts on that firstly.
Poor. I can only apologise to the fans for that. That's not what I expected or anybody expected to come to watch the game today, especially a game of this magnitude. Thought it would started the game well. Created a couple of chances, and obviously the penalty and then turning point to sent off, which to be honest I think is ridiculous for a game of this magnitude for a shoulder. Yes, it's stupid. Yes, it's a booking, but it's not a red card for me. Not it's different if he shoulder him in the chest or the face or something like that, but he hits him square in the shoulder, and it's a rush decision from the official. Thought it was poor. I think when he looks back on it, he'll see, and it just, as I said, changed the game. And after that, we weren't good enough. We changed the shape to try and go at it because we need the result, and it probably cost us, left us wide open in certain areas. But look, we haven't been good enough, and as manager, I'll take full responsibility for it. It hasn't been good enough. There's serious reviews needed. Look, the season's not over, and it's not as if I'm sitting here saying the season's over. We still have 2 games left. We just left it very difficult, but we just haven't been good enough. It doesn't come down to one game or a poor refereeing decision. We can only have ourselves to blame for this. We've had long enough to fix it, and I've had long enough to fix it and haven't. So, as I say, I can only apologise for it. And it's raw at the minute, but we just need to pick ourselves up and go and give it a rattle next Saturday.
In terms of, you touched on the penalty and the red card, they come basically, I think, within 5 minutes in the first half, but still we're creating things going up to half time. Once the second goal goes in too early in the second half, it's just it kills everything, doesn't it? And leaves us having to go and chase it, as you touched on. Then you get caught out at the back. It
does, and then you're still chasing it because you're still trying to get a result, even a draw out of it, and then you're leaving yourself exposed. But just look, we weren't good enough. Red card for by that. We still weren't good enough in certain areas. Didn't hold the ball well enough. It came back in. So no complaints. It's poor, and to be honest, it's embarrassing. It's not what I've been used to. I didn't come back for this, and I'm not blaming anybody else for this. I'm taking full responsibility for this. I'm the manager, so I have no issue with that. But it shouldn't be happening for a club to come from the Premiership now to be 5 points off the bottom of the Championship with 2 games ago. It's not acceptable, and as I said, that by no means trying to criticise anybody else. This is on me as the manager, but there has to be a serious review here. But that said, there's still 2 games left to go, and all we can do is focus on next Saturday. And I've said it from the very outset. If we can't do it, we knew we had 3 games to win to stay in the league. And if we can't do it, then we haven't been good enough. There's no excuses for it. The table doesn't lie. It's not like a cup competition. We've had long enough to get ourselves out of it, and we haven't.
Just on that Newton game next week, obviously it's very, as you say, it's very raw after the day's defeat. We're very soon after the final whistle. How do you go about picking the boys up and at least go and giving it a go, I suppose, for want of a better term?
Well, if nothing else, character and pride have to come into it. You're playing for a jersey. If you don't want to play next Saturday, then just tell me, and there's no point in coming back at this stage. We have to go and give it a rattle. You don't know what can happen because you're doing a disrespect. If we can go tomorrow or next week and beat Newton, then you're doing a disrespect to Ballyclare, saying it's not as if they can beat them. So you don't know. Look, it's very, very difficult, and we haven't helped ourselves. We knew what we had to do in these playoffs, and we haven't done it. Today was really, really poor. It's not what I expected at all, but as I say, the sent off has a massive bearing on it.